And I don't know. I had a question on there, and it was about the music. Now, it had a very quirky theme throughout.
Can I go back real quick
Yeah.
before you get, no, hold that thought because I want to hear
Okay.
what you have to say about the music. But as I go, I want to go back to what you said about having JT Walsh and having Kevin Bacon in it. Um, I thought it was very interesting because if you know Christopher Guest's later films, all of the, he doesn't like the word mockumentaries, but all the fake documentaries that he does, Waiting for Guffman, um,
Best in
Best in
Show, The
Show.
Mighty Wind.
Yep. He uses the same cast for
Right.
pretty much all of those movies, which they are improv movies mostly. So you kind of have to have a cast of characters. But I almost feel like he did the same thing with this movie. It's like he likes working with people so much that he just brought all of his friends together
Right.
because JT Walsh and Kevin Bacon would both work with him again in A Few Good Men.
Okay.
They're both in that movie. Christopher Guest has a smaller role in that movie, but it is a Rob Reiner movie.
Okay.
And Rob Reiner directed
This is
um,
this is Spinal
Spinal
Tap.
Tap.
Right.
Yep. Then you've got Martin Short, Fran Drescher.
Fran Drescher, yes.
Yeah, which she was a blast from the past.
She was on the scene that I just watched a moment ago. It was Fran Drescher when she's showing Nick Chapman's
Oh
girlfriend in
yeah.
the bedroom.
But and then Michael McKean, obviously, because they're like kind of been working together a lot. But I thought it was interesting that he's like, he just pretty much pulled his crew together and
Right.
said, let's make this movie. And I don't know if he's pulling favors or if he just really likes working with his friends. But anyway, so that's what made me think of, like, were they mostly ideal people for the roles, or is he just trying to find people
Right.
that he likes and put them in roles? But
Right.
anyway, moving on to let's go back to music because I want to hear your thoughts on the music.
And not to change the subject, but there is a huge pig on this path out here. Someone's walking a pig. It's probably, I don't know, it's huge. I mean, it looks this much around, this long.
Does it have like a leash on?
Well, it's kind of walking by itself, but it looks like it has some kind of straps on it. It's just kind of waddling. I mean, it's directly in front of me. Now it's behind some trees, but anyway, it was just odd seeing that out of the side of my vision.
I feel like that'd be something we'd see more here in Detroit than you'd see up there. But anyway, well,
as far as the music goes, now there's this little theme throughout the film that plays this, and it's actually the same song that's on the menu screen on the DVD. It just loops over and over and over, which I thought was kind of quirky, and I thought it fit the film well. Some parts of the film, though, let me make sure I'm not jumping ahead to another question here.
We might actually be jumping ahead to another question, but we can change the order and we just hit that question right now.
Okay. But I thought the music was I thought it was well done. I liked the quirkiness of the music, but I thought some parts of the movie were a little too silly, a little too much. Like it was kind of like everything was based upon reality, and then you have, just for, I guess, to show that, Kevin Bacon's character was from Ohio and not very wealthy. He was driving this little beat up, narrow looking vehicle. And then they throw in the scene where, he gets in his vehicle. I think him and his girlfriend have a fight, and he's trying to get out of those parking spaces, the parking space. He backs up and he hits the one car. It didn't feel to me like that scene fit in with the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or some of the times when he was kind of daydreaming or something and looking down, and like there would be like figures or something on the ground. Remember that? There's like I forget exactly what it is, but just a few little pieces didn't seem to me like they fit in this movie.
Yeah, that let's move on to that next, not the next question, but let's skip a question. We'll move back. Do you think the music and score helped the film, or was it a distraction? I thought that the music helped the film because of this, like, the circus theme of like having these random like vignettes and these little films within a film. I think to be able to tie all that together, the music had to be a
Right.
little bit ridiculous. I think if you didn't have that music, then it would have been even more of a separation between the
Right.
two, and it really wouldn't have felt good at all. But I think it helped. It almost put a band-aid on that fact. But it reminded me a lot of this film. It was done in 1996, directed by Steve Taylor, and it's called Down Under the Big Top. And it's
Okay.
about this band, you know, my band, the Newsboys,
Right.
had that same feel of they were literally like one of them was working for a circus, and they had like circus music, and they had these little vignettes that would like ridiculous that like took place in these different places. And I thought the music was appropriate to hold the film together.
Right. Okay.
But I also thought the music was interesting because it was such a transitional piece from the 80s to the 90s,
Right.
and you could see that in the costumes, the hair,
The
and you
hair.
could also feel that in the music.
Right. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I did like the music, and that's one thing I did remember. I stumbled upon the big picture a couple of years ago, but I only caught the very end of it. And yeah, it was near the end of it, and then that's when I went out and I purchased the DVD. But the first thing I did notice was that quirky sound that was just embedded in my mind, and I can still hear it in my mind right now. So I think it did help. I think it helped, and I can see what you mean. It was kind of pulled everything together, and I can understand that.